We don't step in the game. So as I told you guys, not too long ago, it was actually on ShadowCast 34 a couple of days ago. Switch Pro, ain't it? So now I know that there are other YouTubers out there and other commenters on Twitter, YouTube, and insert social media here that swore up and down that there is a highly advanced switch model using a Pascal or Xavier SoC going forward in Switch to be the Switch Pro. And that makes zero sense because even if you go with those more expensive cores, what net of performance is that going to get you? If the reason to have a Switch Pro is to run games designed for other platforms, that really defeats the purpose because it's still going to be an inferior version by default simply because Switch won't be the lead platform. Now, that being said, obviously, yes, you can get higher performance if there's higher CPU clock rate for games that are largely CPU bound, such as The Witcher or any other open world type game, things of that nature. But other than that, there's really no need at this point. The Switches for on the go, that lower resolution is still with a higher pixel depth ratio than 1080p is on a 55-inch TV. And I know a lot of people will, I gotta have better quality, I gotta have better quality. Well, if you gotta have better quality and you play on another console, I told you guys before when you kept being misled by the misinformation from other popular channels that these new chipsets that were actually coming from the homebrew scene, which I do follow, as far back as January of this year, when that printout came out and you saw the T210, which is obviously the current Switch model, and the T214, I told you what the logic and manner of how these SoCs are stamped and coded means. If it's still in the 200 series, it's still a Maxwell architecture. You still have Maxwell, GPU, and CUDA, and you still have the same A57 and A53 8-way or 8-core CPU setup. Now, why we got people talking about USF and all these other things trying to UFS? I'm sorry, trying to say that these things are coming, which means that there's more advanced NAND flash memory instead of eMMC memory that's in the current Switch. I don't know because there was no evidence ever pointing to UFS being in Switch. And none of the leaks or none of the information pointed to that. They only pointed to the code name of the SoC that's being used, Marico, and the unnamed one, which is the new Switch that's out right now, which is HAC 001-01. And that's the current Switch that just got announced today. It's obviously going to replace the launch Switch that we know and love. It's probably going to go bye-bye, be phased away. And this newer Switch obviously has higher clocks but better performance and longer battery life for it since it's a 10 nanometer part. It's been die shrunk. Yeah, so I tried to tell you guys about that, and when you look at what was actually coming through from the homebrew scene, you had T210 and T2214, and if you're talking about Parker or Xavier, those are completely different numbers. That's the T198 and the T186. I think it's T194 if I'm not mistaken for Xavier. But anyway, they aren't even in the same stepping as Maxwell. Maxwell is a completely different set of numbers, and it's a completely different configuration for them to be able to print these SoCs and stamp them massively and then assemble them massively in somewhere like a Foxconn or TSMC plant. So we got all these wild rumors talking about 7 nanometer and just throwing together articles, and that just isn't the case. Common sense should tell you this is what Nintendo's been doing for all time, for every console. They die shrink or they figure out a way to mass produce them They figure out a process improvement plan to where they can make these consoles faster and cheaper. And then they push those throughout the life cycle of the system, especially if the system is popular and it's taking off. That's when they crank it up to 10 to say, hey, look, we got to make more profit on this thing. So that's what they did, and that's what they're going to continue to do with Switch Lite. They're going to make a hell of a lot of money on those, and the new Switch coming up, they're going to make a lot of money on it going forward. Because this will be the third holiday season, if I'm not mistaken. 2017, 2018. No, this will actually be the third holiday season for Switch. So those who are on the fence or whatever, now you have two models to get, the new and improved HAC001-01 and the dedicated handheld Switch Lite. And that's why I mention all the time, like, hey guys, you gotta trust no one and think for yourselves. You hear this technical mumbo jumbo. A lot of the times people are throwing around buzzwords and they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I've been in this industry for a while, and I understand that a game console is a fucking computer. A video game is an application that runs on said dedicated computer. It doesn't change. How they make them doesn't change. What does change is the process going forward. They're still made the same way. The same thought process is still there. Technology's advanced, but the core process is still the same. You're still going to program games for a console. You're not going to program a console for a game. And while I try to tell people that, you know, technology can be blunt simple if you think about it in a blunt simple way, some people love confusing themselves. They love being in the mystery and the grandeur of something that's unannounced and being on top of it as soon as it happens. You know, I try to sit in the background and release as few videos about stuff like this as possible, but the ignorance has got to stop, guys. You've got to stop following people that don't know what they're talking about. Like, has anybody asked any of these YouTubers and these Twitter guys, hey, what are your credentials in the field? Like, have you ever professionally worked with technology? Do you have any industry certifications at all with regards to technology? So then why are you sitting here talking about die shots and telling us what you think you see on a fucking screenshot that somebody paid to get melted down so you can scrape it and see what the die is on an x-ray? Do you really know? We still don't know what all the shaders did on Wii U. There's unaccounted for blocks on a fucking GPU die. Nobody knows what those are. So, and that's on a system that's been out since 2012. It's just bewildering to me how soft voice and a video clip and a voiceover can get people to just fall over. Well, I'm not doing that shit, and I'll continue to be the person that I am. Going forward, my channel is going to be a little bit more aggressive, so stay on top of it as you can. And I'll have various ways of letting you guys know when a new video is coming out. Otherwise, just subscribe, bang the bell, and all the other kind of regular shit you know about. Until I get over 1,000 subscribers, then I can actually send you guys messages. That's one thing I did not know that I was missing, being just under 1,000 subs. So tell your friends of friends, and your associates to subscribe to my channel so I can get those notifications out to you guys in a better way. Because all social media could go away at any moment, and all we have is YouTube left, and I wouldn't have a way to really tell you guys what's coming next. Because if you're not subscribed to this version of social media or another version of social media, how do I get in touch with you? Well, I know if you're watching the video on YouTube, I can always send a message on YouTube. So I need to get to 1,000 subs, guys. Help me out if you can. And once we get to 1,000 subs, then I'll be able to send you guys more updates on content in the future. There should be more ShadowCasts. Time forbidding, there may be shorter ShadowCasts going forward. And the Infernal Thought Process videos such as this one, I try to keep them as short as possible, so I can get more content out. Because obviously, doing the shadowcasts that I do, unless they're absolutely needed, doing them extremely long form in some of the ways I've been doing 30, 40 minutes, sometimes an hour long videos, those take an extremely long time to edit. And it cuts down on the amount of content I'm able to give to you guys. So I may end up doing a lot of shorter form videos that kind of get straight to the point and not hammer down certain details that I don't really need to hammer down to you guys. But I'm going to explain as much as I can, put as many links in the descriptions of as much of the videos as I can that I can keep up with, and we'll go from there. And I'll get this streaming thing down as soon as I can. I'm trying to figure out exactly what my plan is with Twitch and go from there. Like, I'm literally trying to write a business plan for this. So yeah, that's it. I mean, Switch Pro wasn't it. I've been trying to tell certain individuals they should have listened, man. I haven't really been wrong on this, because Nintendo is as easy as they are to predict. They're also easily unpredictable. I always expect the unexpected with them, but I'm never gonna not expect them to maximize on profit. And that's exactly what you're seeing now with the new Switch and the Switch Lite. Do you play games to have fun or to impress other people?